They probably did because they never
Yep.
I'm scared. Okay. Is it cute?
It's very cute and it's adorable. Here, let me
Kind
take
of
a
feels
pic.
like a dunce hat, though.
It does, but you're not dunce. You're not stupid.
Does it look weird if I have it off to the side like that?
It looks stylish.
So the day is winding down now. It's almost 10:30. And I thought I'd just give basically a little report of how the day went, how my birthday went. It was a slow start to the morning, so that part was nice, a slow morning. And then the idea was to go out and have some breakfast, but the morning was going so slowly that by the time we went out and had breakfast, It was close to 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So that's how that went. So first of all, I don't usually do birthday parties. Just because, I mean, I think the last time I actually had an out and out birthday party was maybe when I was 10 years old. So, like these days, for my birthday, I will probably have something special to eat. Maybe get a few gifts, and that's about it. You know, I don't actually have a birthday party. Not to say that that's wrong, or that if you're not a child that you shouldn't have a birthday party. You can have one if you want to, but I don't. And then, okay, so the restaurant that I had breakfast, like a 3 p.m. breakfast at, I had never been there before, ever. I don't usually go out to eat. Today I went out to eat twice, which was very unusual for me. But anyways, the first restaurant I had never been to. Both restaurants I had never been to before, even though I live so close to both. Also, by the way, I know the lighting right now is pretty orange. But I mean, there's no daylight right now. It's dark outside, and I'm just going with the indoor lamps. But anyways, so the first restaurant, sort of a traditional American old-timey diner sort of situation. I'm gonna try to be nice, I guess. I could say more, but okay, I enjoyed the hash browns. I enjoyed the bacon. So like if I ever went there again, I'd get hash browns and bacon. However, I can see why I don't go out to eat very often. Not just because of the food quality, but also because of the prices. I was not accustomed to the prices because I don't go out to eat that often. For instance, I don't know what the prices are like where you live, but okay, so 2 eggs, hash browns, bacon, and toast was like I think it was 17, no, it's like $17 to $20 or something like that. $17. There was like an upcharge for eggs because there's like some shortage of eggs or something, or maybe they've gone up in price. I don't know what the situation was, but like, anyways, what I'm saying is I thought it was $17 was a little much for some bacon and eggs and potatoes. Maybe I especially felt that way because like I get what feels like free eggs from my chickens, you know, but I know it's not free. I mean, there's a cost of feed and everything, but do you know what I mean? Anyways, it was okay. It was fine. I tried to not think about that and just enjoy the moment. So while I was trying to enjoy the moment, I was looking at the table I was sitting at, and there were ants. I noticed ants, little like sugar ants, the little tiny black ants. So I observed that, and it's not like it scared me because, by the way, I had an infestation of sugar ants in, like, of all things, the hood, like, light thing on my 10-gallon fish tank. Like they were setting up shop in the, like, what do you call that? That, like, the light, where the light bulb sits in, like, this hood on my fish tank. like the housing, they were, these same little sugar ants were absolutely setting up house in that part of my fish tank. So it's not like I had not been accustomed to small ants or something at this restaurant. It was like, oh, those things again, because I saw them around my fish tank for a while, and then it was getting worse and worse, and then I realized they're actually living in the lighting portion of my fish tank lid, like really setting up shop, like there were eggs in there and everything. It was really gross. Anyway, that's taken care of now. They're not there anymore. But so anyway, so at the restaurant, I'm observing these little ants on the table. You know, I thought that was interesting. I saw them walking by my bacon. You know what I mean? So I squished two. I really don't like killing bugs even, but I mean, I squished two, and then I looked over there and there was some more. So that was interesting. I had little friends at breakfast with me, or lunch, breakfast, lunch. Oh yeah. So I didn't read the very obvious signing, the very obvious sign. I didn't read it. It was on the wall that at 3 p.m. That portion of the restaurant closes, and a lounge, so-called like lounge area of the restaurant opens. So like they close one part of the restaurant and open another part at 3 p.m. I didn't read that, even though it was very clearly posted. So basically, thankfully we were done eating, but I mean, we were kind of pushed out because, well, not pushed out, either pushed out or we were basically told to go sit in the other area. But we were ready to go anyway, so it wasn't like a problem. They were as nice about it as they could be, but I have never been... First of all, it's kind of strange to me that one portion of a restaurant closes and then they open another area of the same restaurant, but so it was just strange to be a little bit hurried out of the place. But I get that that's how they run their restaurant, but it was just odd. Oh yeah, and then I saw like three different people from the church that I go to, which was actually, I didn't mind seeing them. They said hello, I said hello. I didn't expect to see that many people that I knew there. So overall, that was alright. It was a little different overall, but not terrible. So yesterday I baked a carrot cake. You might have seen the footage from that. So I baked that yesterday, and today I wanted to ice it. So I made some like cream cheese icing for the carrot cake. I went ahead and iced it. First of all, I don't ice cakes every day. I don't even make cakes every day. I make a cake maybe once a year, I would guess. And I'm trying a new recipe, so we'll see how that turns out. I thought I was going to eat some of the birthday cake. I was making a birthday cake for myself, a carrot cake. I thought I'd eat some today on my birthday, but I'm not in the mood now. I'm quite full, and the main reason is I think I probably showed some footage of me icing a cake. I am not a cake decorator. Maybe that was apparent. Maybe that was very apparent, but I was so disappointed in how that turned out. I don't mind how I iced the top of it, but like the bottom border, I am not satisfied with. I want to redo it. So maybe my plan is to redo that tomorrow. Redo the way I iced the bottom border, because maybe to some people it doesn't look bad, but to me it does. So I want to remove that and basically redo it before I eat it. So that's my plan for tomorrow. One of my plans for tomorrow. But that made me, I was surprised how annoyed, perhaps disappointed, perhaps irritated I got from what I felt was messing up that cake with the icing. My mood took a nosedive after that. First of all, this entire day has been up and down and up and down emotionally. But anyway, that was probably one of the deepest nosedives of the day, was me messing up that cake. Because I wanted to do it well. Now, I don't know if any of you out there can identify with this, but maybe if you're a creative type, or maybe if you're a type that has a vision of what you want to accomplish, and then when you try to do it, your vision is not accomplished, it is bothersome, really, more than it really should be. I admit, it's a cake, it's icing, like how serious can this be? But like if you're a creative type and you have the ability to envision something, maybe you can identify where you have an idea, right? You're trying to get there. You're trying to get to making your vision come together, and then when it doesn't, it's like, wow, that was such a failure. I didn't even get close to what I could see already in my mind. So yeah, my mood took a nosedive after that. But anyways, after that, well, first of all, I felt hurried. Now, I don't think there's anything quite like being in a hurry when you're trying to be creative and decorate a cake nicely. Like, you're gonna do that fast? Maybe you can do it fast. I couldn't. But anyways, I was in a hurry because tonight there were reservations at a restaurant for 7 o'clock, so I didn't want to be late to that. So that was why I was in a hurry. But anyways, so we went to this restaurant for dinner. This fancy restaurant nearby that I had never been to. And yeah, it was fancy. It was fancy. It was probably the fanciest restaurant I have been to in years. And by years, I mean maybe possibly 10 years. Possibly 10 years. And it was a different experience for me because of that. I'm not used to that. It felt a little, ever so slightly uncomfortable because it's not my typical environment. But, I can see why I can see why it's, thought of as very nice. The place was full. It was good that we had reservations, because if we didn't, I don't think we'd get in. I chose, what was it? It was smoked salmon with spinach ravioli in a Parmesan something cream sauce. And you know, the waiters are exceptionally nice. You get a little more attention than you might at a typical restaurant. They smile at you. They explain the menu more. You know what I mean? They grind some black pepper over your food if you want it. Don't they do that at Olive Garden? I can't remember, but you know what I mean? There's touches that make you realize that this is not your average restaurant. So the food, I can see why people like it. I can see why, yeah, I can see it's not your normal food that you'd get at a restaurant, I would say. Better ingredients. It's just me, you know what I mean? I'm particular. It was good, but I would have liked it if it wasn't so salty. That was the main thing. Of course, it was rich too. Like I don't eat like some cheese cream sauce very often at all, like ever. So that was different. And then I don't even eat smoked salmon very often at all. So it was like, wow, this is rich. Definitely something I wouldn't cook at home though. So I mean, that was an advantage. At least I could enjoy something that I would not make at home. You know what I mean? Versus going to a restaurant and like eating scrambled eggs, which you might do at home. Do you know what I mean? So it was an experience in that way where I could eat something that I would not make at home. My only complaint is that it was too salty. For me. And okay, let me make a comment. I am not a professional chef. I feel like I'm decent at it. Like I can get by with my cooking, but you know what I was thinking? I was thinking to myself that I think a professional chef. Now, first of all, I'm sure they have professional chefs there. This is just me nitpicking, okay? This is me nitpicking. I think that you could make a dish flavorful by the use of your ingredients, maybe pairing certain things together, quantities of certain items, herbs like fresh herbs, spices, and create something that tastes good, but like has flavor, but doesn't have to be where you take a bite and it's salt. Oh, salt. You know what I mean? Oh, that's salt. No, you know what I'm trying to say? Where you can create more depths of flavor using herbs and spices, and where it's not like just straight salt. So I mean, I thought they could do more with the cream sauce, maybe add herbs to it. Like my personal recommendation would have been thyme, that little herb, or maybe, I don't know. That's just my 2 cents. I did not go to college to earn some culinary arts degree or something like that. You know what I mean? But also, it was extremely filling. So, I mean, I can see why the place is fancy. I can see why people go there. I can see why people pay $30 to over $100 for a plate of food. Do you know what I mean? I just felt like I was playing around in a bracket of society that I really don't belong in. Do you know what I mean? I am not, you know what I mean? Like people behind me, I was seated quite close to some other people, and I couldn't help but overhear part of their conversation because they were talking loud. And they're talking about cars, and it was supposed to be a deal because it was under $30,000, and we're talking about how fast it goes from 0 to 60, and like we're talking about sums of money that I cannot relate to. Do you know what I mean? And then they were actually like considering a plate of food that was over $100, that it was some kind of steak, I wouldn't consider that personally. I wouldn't consider that to actually purchase that. That's just me. People, if they got money and they want to have fun with it, they can do that. It's, sure, why not? I mean, what else are you going to do with it? But do you know what I mean? Have you ever played around in a bracket of society for a moment and you realize, you know, this is not my bracket of society? That's how it felt. But it was fun while it lasted. I mean, I'm glad I don't have like regrets of going there. Sure, on my birthday, that was interesting. I appreciated the experience, you know what I mean? And then, after that restaurant, I wanted to go to the dollar store because I needed, anyways, that's why I wanted to go to the dollar store for gift bags, but the dollar store was closing soon. I think it closes at 9 o'clock, and I probably got there at about a little after 8:30. But funny enough, talking about brackets of society, that was one of the most enjoyable parts of my day, was going to the dollar store. And you know, I didn't used to like the dollar store because and still there's a lot of things in there that I personally wouldn't buy, but there are a few things that I would buy, like for instance gift wrapping stuff. That stuff's pretty good. For the most part, I'd stay away from the food unless you're going for like dried beans or something. But yeah, anyways, there's a few items in there that I think are pretty good. What was I saying? That was the most enjoyable part. One of the most enjoyable parts of my day was roaming the dollar store close to closing time when almost nobody was in there. It was so quiet in there. And just roaming around looking at what they had. Some of the stuff that they have is interesting. Some brand name items, if you like brand name items. So that was, yeah, it was a little quite a juxtaposition, I guess, to use a fancy word that I think I know the meaning of. Quite an opposite sort of thing to go from fancy restaurant to dollar store. However, like I said, that was one of the most enjoyable parts of my day, roaming the dollar store close to closing time. And I don't know why. I don't even know why it was so enjoyable. Maybe it felt more relaxing. It wasn't stressful. I was just going around looking at stuff. I found this hat there. This hat. And I got some like butterfly shaped hair clips, and I got some grape juice. Speaking of which, I feel thirsty, probably because of the result of what I ate for dinner. I'm thirsty. But yeah, and so after the dollar store, I came back home. And that has been my birthday. That has been my birthday. And parts of this day were not the most fun, not the most easy, not the most enjoyable, that I won't go into exactly, but I don't know about you. Are your birthdays actually happy? Are your birthdays you know, how people say happy birthday. Are yours typically happy? Usually mine don't seem to be, and I'm not trying to influence when I say that. I'm just saying that that is how it usually is, and I'm thinking that it's partially my fault because I I may put too much pressure on my birthday on the day, because I figure it's one day out of the entire year that I can try to do things for me and only me, pretty much. You know, like you're almost allowed to be a little bit selfish, I guess, on your birthday. Like one day out of the entire year. That's how I look at it. And so maybe my standards or perhaps expectations of what the day will be for me may set me up for a bit of disappointment. I am seeing that. Maybe it's my expectations. Maybe I should try not to have only one day out of the entire year where I feel not guilty for doing what I want to do. Maybe. Food for thought, I guess. But I mean, if you don't seem to have exceptionally happy birthdays, you're not the only one, I guess. Maybe we need to also examine what our expectations are for our birthday and not have too high of expectations. Maybe I should not have too high of expectations for a single day in the entire year. Maybe make it where I take some time to do things that I would like to do for my sake, as selfish as that sounds, for more than one day out of the entire year. Do you know what I mean? So maybe I'm learning that. Maybe I'm learning that. And I don't know what else I have to add right now. Oh, so I said the dollar store experience was one of the most enjoyable parts of the day. You know what another one of the most enjoyable parts of the day was? And it seems like a small thing. You know, if you're like on any kind of, okay, I'll just put it this way. People, family members, acquaintances, people you might know, they might wish you happy birthday, either send you a text or a message or whatever, and just say happy birthday to you. In the past, that for some reason that didn't hit me very hard. It's like, oh, happy birthday, thank you. You know what I mean? It kind of just came and went. But this year, having people in my life, even if like we don't see each other very often at all. Maybe some people are not well known to me, you know, acquaintances, but they're still very nice people. Anyways, what I'm saying is I appreciated people wishing me a happy birthday. Does that sound funny? It sounds funny to me when I say it, but you know, it actually, they took some time out of their day to wish me a happy birthday, which to me, I don't know if I'm like blowing this out of proportion, but basically that it is a small way to where they basically, I was gonna say it a different way that is a little coarse, but I will say it this way. Basically, it was a way where they show that they care. That they care. And I think for some reason that hit me harder this year because I can see various evidences all year long of what it looks like when people don't care. You know, actually, you're like, wow, people actually don't care. Not about me necessarily, but in general, the observations I've made where it was like, wow, people really don't care, do they? So this was opposite of that, where, oh, some people care, even if it's to wish you happy birthday. To me, it meant more to me this year, is what I'm saying. It actually did. It made me, I appreciated it way more than I have in the past. Way more than I have in the past. That was very interesting. It is interesting to see how things develop as you get older, you know what I mean, and progress through this life. Things change. Things mean more to you, or things mean less to you than they used to. Very interesting to see the changes in one's self. Do you know what I mean? So that was interesting. That was one of the other highlights of my birthday, was just getting wished a happy birthday by family, by people that I know. I appreciated that, actually. Yeah. It's interesting how some things change, perspectives change as you get older, apparently. I mean, in the past I would wish people happy birthday, but I felt like that was almost nothing to them. Like, why would they care that I wished them happy birthday? But, and maybe some people don't appreciate really being wished a happy birthday, but I mean, I did. Not because it's my birthday necessarily. What I'm trying to say is something that showed that people cared even a little bit. That's what was meaningful to me. And I could, yeah, actually, when I observe that people care, even if it's seemingly in a small way, in general, in daily life, that means I notice that. I appreciate it because it seems rare. Have you noticed this? It seems even more, it seems to be becoming more and more rare that people care about anything, especially about other people. On that note, I am diverting from this whole birthday topic right now. I was in Walmart the other day talking about people that don't care. I was in Walmart the other day, and okay, so if you go grocery shopping, you probably already know this. I don't even care how long this video is going to be right now. I want to talk about this. If you go grocery shopping, I'm sure you are already aware of how you must be prepared to encounter people who apparently do not know that other people exist in the store and need to move around the store, because they'll just stand there in the way, or they'll position their cart in such a way as if there is no other traffic in the whole store, where people need to move and get around, and like, do you know what I mean? They'll just stand in your way as if you're not there, as if nobody else is in the store. Okay, you know what I mean? So if you go grocery shopping, you are already aware that you need to be prepared to encounter that, to some degree. But I went to Walmart the other day. I don't know if it was the time of day that I happened to be there, which is not my usual time of day to be at Walmart, or what was going on, but it was people in the way to a degree that I have never encountered before. I have never encountered before. It was like times 10. And I went to Walmart with someone who barely ever goes grocery shopping, and even they noticed it. They, who is not used to grocery shopping at all, noticed that people just stood or got in the way and stayed there. Like, it was amazing. So I'm relating the story to people not caring. You couldn't I can't even explain how bad it was. I was eyeing a low positioned can of olives that I was targeting. I saw it there, close to the ground. A can of black olives. That was one of the items I was trying to acquire. And there was just so much going on in that aisle, with people stocking shelves, with someone with the cart, with someone else, and I totally bypassed that aisle. I went to the second aisle, the other aisle next to it, which was somewhat vacant. I parked my cart there, not in the entire way of the whole aisle, tight up against the side. And as I parked it there, I snuck back around to the crowded olive aisle. Apparently, I slid between people trying to get to the olives. I finally reached, crouching down, trying to reach the olives, and then suddenly someone's backing up into me. Someone who had exited the aisle now is backing up into the aisle, and I'm trying to, it was on a whole other level. And, okay, have you ever encountered this too, where you're moving your cart down the aisle, you're at the end of the aisle, and it's blind at the end of the aisle. You know, there's a cross section. You're coming perpendicular to another, let's say, lane of traffic, and it's blind because you got shelves on either side of you. So, because I'm not a reckless cart driver, I stopped. As if there was a stop sign there at the end of the aisle. I stopped because it was blind, and I was going to very carefully inch out into the other lane of traffic. However, I was still at a complete stop. Wasn't moving at all, and someone with their cart comes and turns into the aisle and has a collision with me. You know, I have never had that happen before, ever. There was no harm or damage done, but I thought, wow, this is interesting. I wondered what was happening. It felt like another dimension of, I'll just say grocery store, Walmart store shopping. It was really something. And then, so that just is another example in my life of me thinking, observing that, wow, people really don't care, do they? People just really don't care. I mean, I do. I don't want to be in someone's way. I am aware of my surroundings, at least to not be in people's way. I might not notice people's faces necessarily, like I might have alluded to in a video or two ago, but I am aware of that people need to move around me. Do you know what I mean? Oh yeah, and there was this other situation where I was reaching into a shelf to get, what was it? Cupcake liners, the little paper cupcake liners. I was reaching there, and someone turns down the aisle, and it didn't really matter that I was there. They were coming, whether I was there or not. You know, it was a cart with a small child in the cart, and then I assume the mother pushing the cart, and it looked like she was done with life. And I don't blame her, but I mean, she was coming. So I like got out of the way. But I was there first, you know, maybe give me 2 seconds to get the thing off the shelf. No, she was coming. So I got out of the way. And she went by, and what I assume to be her husband, trailing along behind her, is the one who apologized as they all went by. You know what I mean? Cart first, wife pushing cart, husband trailing along behind, and the husband's the one who apologizes for that move. No, I just, maybe, you know what, maybe people are enduring too much in their daily life to care about other people. I can understand that, where people are just trying to survive so they don't really have a lot of care to give to other people. I understand that, and I just think that's unfortunate. I have also been very close to that point in my life. Actually, right now. But I still manage to care to some degree, by God's grace. It's just harder. I just understand that it is much harder to care about other people when you feel like you yourself are clinging like you're hanging by a thread. Do you know what I mean? I understand that. So what does this mean? My observation that people really don't care, maybe that what that really is an observation of how many people are just hanging by a thread at their limit of endurance, in their own personal life. Maybe that's the real observation here. Not that people don't, not just that they don't care, but that they're barely hanging on. So, this hat that I got, I thought maybe next time I go to Walmart, I should wear this hat in public, and you know, it looks kind of like I can just join the circus. I can just join the circus with this hat. Maybe that's what I should wear on a daily basis, so that I feel like I'm part of the show, you know, instead of an alien to what is going on around me. Maybe I should try that. Maybe they'll give me more room. Maybe they'll give me more room in the store if I wear this in public, you know, want to stay away a little bit. You never know. I might try it. So, I think I am so ready to wind down for this day. What time is it? 11:15 or so. Close to that, whatever. I know this clock that I'm looking at is like a little bit fast. But, so tomorrow I hope to fix my cake, among other things that I have to do tomorrow. So, this has been my birthday so far. Oh yeah, I was gonna show you the few things I got for my birthday as gifts, which I like them very much, so I can show you that tomorrow in better lighting. So like I said last night, I was going to show you what I got for my birthday in daylight so you could see it better. And this is what I got for my birthday. Let's see, I'll start over here. I picked these up last night at the dollar store. They're just hair clips, kind of gold tone. So I thought they were cute. And then this necklace, that's the peridot necklace. And then this here was made for me. It's a bead, a glass bead, but a pretty glass bead on this chain. And then this is a glass pendant. So you could like take this off of this chain and then put this one on. And this I got for myself, so happy birthday to me, you know. It is perfume. I bought this online, so I mean, I don't know what it actually smells like yet. I just went off of a description, so that feels slightly risky to me. It's supposed to be a perfume that doesn't have harmful chemicals in it, like a clean perfume. It's supposed to smell like jasmine and gardenia. And gardenias are probably one of my favorite flowers because of the scent. And then this is a stack of dimes, Roosevelt dimes. I got this from my mom, and what's special about it is they're dimes from 1964 and older, which means that they have, I believe, 90%, they're made of 90% silver. So there's a little more value because of the silver content. And I liked that because I've sort of been trying to collect some silver. Like mercury dimes are one of my favorite to collect. I have some quarters, mostly dimes, so that fit my interest, one of my interests. So yeah, this is what I got for my birthday. It is Sunday now, Sunday early afternoon. I'm still in the car. I just got home from church this morning, and I guess I should probably wrap this video up now. Yesterday, we went to, I believe it's called Rocky Brook Falls in Brennan, Washington, to see the waterfall. And I had been there 2 or 3 times before in the summertime, and the flow of water was much less than what I saw yesterday at the same waterfall. There was much more volume of water flowing in that waterfall than I've seen before. It was much more impressive yesterday. So that's what that was, and just a Saturday outing. And I think that and eating the carrot cake I made a couple of days ago, I think those were the highlights of my entire week. Not to be like a Debbie Downer or something, but honestly, this week of my life has been difficult for more than one reason, and I don't need to get into it all, but I'm just saying, eating a piece of my carrot cake, which, by the way, was very good, if I may say so myself. I usually put a little less sugar in recipes that I make because I am that type of person who thinks something can be too sweet. I don't like desserts that are too sweet. So when I had the sugar content under my control, I reduced it, and it was much better for me personally. I do like cake, but most of the time when I've ever had it, particularly store-bought cake, it's like so sweet that I can barely take it. So, yes, the carrot cake turned out very good for me personally. I enjoyed it very much. That and seeing that waterfall yesterday, those were probably the best points of my entire week. Now, this week was very difficult for me. I may need to make some changes in my life because I don't want to repeat this. Let me just say, I guess I can sort of put it this way and not be lying. Work that I am doing has seeped in so much into my daily personal life that it is unhealthy. It is always that. You know how some people, they can like go to work and then come home and sort of like not be at work, have a home life that is where work is not seeping through. Some people, I believe, can enjoy that. Like when they leave the workplace, they're home or they're away from work. Well, the work that I have been doing, it feels like it's seeping into every aspect of my entire life, and I don't like it. To the point where I was unable to eat a piece of carrot cake without, in the middle of it, being interrupted with my work-related stuff. I was unable to go to that waterfall without still it reaching me. I have had. So, I may need to make some changes for my sake. Other than that, this morning, I listened to the sermon. It was a guest speaker, as we have had for several weeks now. I won't say who it was, but I can say this, and it, for me, it's saying something. There was not a single word that this man said that I didn't, there was nothing that he said that I disagreed with. I agreed, as far as I can recall, every single word that he said, which is saying something for me. I appreciated what he said. I appreciated his message. Also, it didn't go on and on and on. It was just right for me. I'm not saying everyone has to do that or everyone has to give a short message. Especially, that's funny coming from me, whose videos seem to be over an hour long often. But I just appreciated what he had to say. Absolutely, I appreciated what he had to say about trials, enduring trials, because they are achieving for us a building up and a strengthening and a maturing of our character. I appreciated that. Maybe because of this week I've had. But no, I appreciated what he had to say. And you know, it was one of those things again where honestly, if I was looking at it purely through human eyes and ears, it wasn't super polished. You know, he didn't seem to have a ton of charisma, but I don't care. It didn't even matter to me. I am personally not looking to be, to see some fancy showmanship from the pulpit. I am looking for what they're actually saying. I don't even care how well or how poorly it is delivered. I'm listening to what they're saying, not showmanship and charisma. So there was that. I appreciated the message this morning. And I don't know how to explain this perfectly, but as I sat there and listened to him, you know, it struck me that he's a teacher, not so much a preacher. I know preachers can teach, but you know how there's different parts of the church body. We have different gifts and stuff like that. He struck me as a teacher. I don't know what to make of that, other than that's what I observed. And you know that I do find as unfortunate it is that the church, at least in the United States, is in the condition it's in, and I'm sure I have touched upon that in past videos of how what a sad state the church is in. Despite that, occasionally I do see beauty still. Beauty. I found it a beautiful thing to see the way the Lord has given different people different gifts. They're not all the same. To me, that's a thing of beauty. And you know, another thing I guess I want to talk about. I found this little flower on not my piano, but the piano that I play at the church building. I found that little flower on top of the piano this morning, and that was a little sunshine in my day, just to see that little flower there. And I don't know if I'm just in this mood this whole week, but I feel like I'm appreciating the small things of beauty. Beauty. Now, I'm not just talking about how, you know, I feel like usually if you hear beauty, you're thinking, oh, physical beauty of people. I'm not just talking about physical beauty of people. The small things that I find beautiful touch me. Like the little flower on my the piano I play at the church building, or the good message this morning through the contrast of human weakness. I saw God's truth shining through despite the shortcomings of humanity. And then like yesterday, seeing that waterfall and seeing the water flowing and the moss and the rocks and everything, I liked that. And then I was leaving this morning. I was going in my car in the parking lot, in the church parking lot, church building parking lot, and there were some cherry trees blooming. There were some pink cherry trees blooming in the parking lot, and I observed something. There was this man alone, kind of up on it seemed like he was kind of up on his tiptoes, kind of reaching his head up like this, trying to sniff the cherry blossoms. I don't know why. Like I said, I don't know if I'm in a weird mood this week, but that was somehow moving to me, that even grown adults, like, it's the small things, sniffing a flower, you know what I mean? Like, I'm done with I feel so tired of the complexities of life that something simple and kind of beautiful affects me lately. All he was doing was trying to sniff the cherry blossoms, but I rarely see grown adults trying to sniff flowers, but I don't know why that affected me to see that. Maybe it's a yearning, a personal yearning within me for simplicity and peace. But, and there was something else. Oh, not this Sunday, but one of the other Sundays, I don't exactly remember which, there was another preacher preaching, and I'm not going to nitpick about what I thought about his preaching, but I was going to say I was listening to his preaching, but I was kind of not, and I was kind of waiting for it to get over with. I don't know if you have ever experienced that, unfortunately, for a preaching to get over with. I was just kind of waiting. He was also kind of loud, so it was kind of turning me off a little bit. I'm not saying you can't be loud if you're preaching. I'm not saying there's something wrong with that. I'm just saying, for me, it was kind of a little bit of a turn off, and it was kind of loud, and it was kind of going on, and it was kind of like starting to become noise. I was just kind of waiting, sitting there waiting, and through the noise, I heard a bird singing outside. I heard a bird singing outside because it's, kind of springtime now, so the birds are a little more vocal. I heard a bird singing outside, even though I was inside in the church building. I could hear it outside, and despite the noise coming from the preacher. And I thought, wow, as I sat there, I thought, I am currently being more edified hearing that little bird sing than I am hearing this man talk. I am more edified by the sweet sound of a bird singing than I am listening to this man basically yell at me. And I don't know what to make of that. It was moving in the moment, but I hardly know what words to put to it. Have you ever experienced that? Where you see something, observe something, but it's hard to put it into words. No, in that moment, that little bird singing some song that the Lord gave it to sing was more glorifying to God, more edifying to me in that moment than listening to the guy talk. Very strange. I understand that sounds strange on the surface, but in reality, it's true for me. That was true. I don't know what to make of these things. Small things of beauty is what is attracting me right now. Not the complex, not the showmanship, not the charisma. Not. Do you know what I mean? Going back to that carrot cake. I know I feel like I've talked a lot about this carrot cake or shown a lot of footage about a carrot cake, but so I did fix it. If you recall, I wanted to fix it. I did get rid of that lower border that I thought didn't look right. And then I chopped some pecans and put that around the outer, like, sides of the cake. Even though it's a circle, I guess there's no sides. But I put pecans around it. And then I added another border along the bottom. And I didn't like the border again, so I removed the second border as well as I could. At that point, I just decided not to put a lower border at all. And I was satisfied, and then I put the letter D on the top using pecans. I was satisfied overall. I think I could have decorated the top a little bit better, other than just writing a letter D there, but otherwise I was satisfied enough to say, this is good, I'm done. But even that, I guess I'm talking about myself now. I'm kind of that type of person that, how can I say this? Maybe you can relate, maybe not. Certain things I can just say are good enough. Certain things I don't really care that much about. Certain things don't bother me, but other certain things do, like aesthetically. If something doesn't look right aesthetically, it can actually make me not feel well, physically almost. Not just emotionally. Like if I go into a room and things like the lighting is really bad, like a really harsh blue light, or certain environments can actually make me feel not very well physically. I have observed. I feel sensitive to those things. Lighting, I feel sensitive to colors, to placements of things. So I felt like I was really showing that side of me when I nitpicked so much about how I was decorating my birthday cake. Like I almost was starting to annoy myself. That why can't I just accept a lower border on that cake that I thought didn't look good? Why can't I just accept that and move on? And then I wouldn't have had to put so much work into it. But no, I despite practically annoying myself about how I was, I pressed through and really wanted to get that cake looking the way I felt satisfied with, and which I did. But I think maybe certain people are like that and other certain people aren't. I'm not saying one's better than the other. I'm just saying there's different people out there, and I think I'm one of those that is particular, I guess. Is particular about certain things, and almost to the point where I'm annoying myself. But in the end, I got it how I was satisfied with that. I was satisfied with it, and I'm glad I put in that little extra work, but no, I tend to be that type of person, I guess. Well, even like the Cadillac that I used to have. Like, I don't know if you found my channel through that Cadillac video. The 1955 Cadillac video. That character trait or way that I tend to be particular about things. I'm not saying it's the only reason. It played a part in how that car even turned out, is what I'm saying. Not just me, my dad's kind of that way too. So together, yeah, certain qualities in people show in things they do, things they make. Likewise, lack of certain character qualities in people also show in what they do and what they make. So that's interesting, I guess. I mean, maybe it's the designer type. Perhaps maybe a visionary type. Maybe a creative type. I'm not sure what kind of type. Not everybody is like this. I remember my dad telling me a story. He used to work with like interior designers. This one designer was really particular about this thing. I don't know what it was. Something that wouldn't even be seen, basically, in a design. Maybe it was something on the ceiling where a light attached to the ceiling. And they were so particular about this and really wanting it to be a certain way. And someone else said to them, well, nobody's going to see that. Nobody's going to know. Basically, why are you fussing about it? Why are you fussing about it so much when no one's going to see it? No one's going to know. And this designer's response to them was, well, I will know. Nobody else may know, but they're going to know. So that's what you could almost call it a negative thing in a person's life to be that particular. Like, is it edging towards some kind of deficiency in a person? Like, are they being too particular? Too particular. But no, you know what? If it's reined in and controlled, I think people being particular about things is the only way that anything excellent is produced. That's what I think. The types of people who, oh, it's good enough, it doesn't really matter, no one cares, why are you doing that? Why are you cleaning this so much? Why are you spending so much time on this? It doesn't even... That produces mediocrity, in my opinion. It's the ones that push to go the extra few steps. That is, in my mind, what produces excellence. Meanwhile, there are people along the way who will say, oh, don't worry about it, it looks fine. It's not the point. It's not the point that it looks fine or you can get by with it. The point is shooting for some higher goal. And the satisfaction it is to reach it. The satisfaction it gives to reach it. I am most aware that I can settle for mediocre. That's not what I want. And I don't know if you were looking for some spiritual message in this. I don't know if I will have any spiritual kind of edification in this video, but I think the same thing can be sort of applied to this Christian life. Are we settling for mediocrity? Are we shooting to what is that thing that Paul says? Like, basically run the race to win? Or are we running the race to basically roll across the finish line and kind of we made it? Are we living this Christian life to just make it or to excel in it? Food for thought. I don't have definitive points to make. I am basically just talking about different thoughts, different observations. But yeah, so it's been a strange week. I don't know what to do about future birthdays. Maybe I should just not do very much at all. Like not attempt like to make it into a birthday day where like I'm doing special things or unusual things. Maybe I'll just keep it to making myself a cake and then possibly enjoying a slice of it without being interrupted with work-related stuff. Maybe that's my goal for next year if I make it. You know what I mean? Something very low-key, something very simple, but very, something peaceful, perhaps. Other than all that, I hope, you all are doing well. I don't really know what else to say, other than I wanted to wrap this video up. And I kind of feel like it's a little bit on the blue side. This video seems a little bit on the blue side. I tried to make it not so blue. I tried to add a little red to it and make it sound more happy, but actually this week has been one of the worst weeks of this year so far for me. And that's just what it is. I mean, I could sugarcoat it, but I mean, it's not been that's sweet to me, other than for the fact if I can keep that perspective, like this guy that was preaching this morning was talking about counting it as a joy to go through trials. I can remember that and know that difficult things are shaping my character by God's grace, shaping my character, maybe growing my patience, maybe growing endurance, maybe growing perseverance, that sort of thing. But I found it edifying for him. Well, I thought of it and then he said it. I thought of it first and then he said it, what I was thinking, so that was edifying to me. But this was edifying, that it says that we should count it as joy. Basically, consider it something that should bring gladness to you. For some reason, I appreciated the way it was said because there's meaning in how it was said, and that is basically that we can consider trials a joyful thing because it's producing something good in us. I liked how that was said because it would be a choice to consider trials as something that would make us glad. It's a choice to consider it that way, a choice to look at it that way, because in reality, there is nothing joyful about it. No, it's a choice to see it that way because it is helping our character to grow. Now I just have to find where at what point do you continue on in trials because it's producing good things in you, and at what point do you understand that these trials are not something that you need to continue to endure? You see what I mean? There has to, for me, I feel like there has to be some amount of intelligent thought to look at what you are enduring and really consider, is this just stupid? Because there's trials that you endure that have reason behind it or are unavoidable, or that you must go through. But there's other trials that I observe that that is superfluous. Is that how you say it? That are something you're choosing to go through and you don't have to. And in reality, I don't see a actual reason behind it. It's just stuff that you don't really have to engage in. See what I mean? I don't want to just go through every single trial in my life thinking that, oh, I must go through this and endure this no matter what. You know what I mean? I want to have some amount of intelligence and think, is this something I really have to go through? Because I may not, and it actually may be stupid to continue to go through it when you don't have to, and I don't see how it is helping anybody. Do you know what I mean? So I'm kind of at that place where, yes, I appreciate the fact that trials can shape my character, but at what point do you look at them and the choice is before you to continue in it or not? That's a choice. And some of the trials we go through, we don't have a choice, but some we do. And I just don't want to be stupid and continue going through ones that are optional. So that's where I'm at with that. He didn't actually talk about that, but that's what I was thinking about when I was listening to him. So, I guess that's all I have to say for this video. And Lord willing, I will see you in the next one.